Hello, my lovely Leos, and welcome to Soulsake Tarot. My name is Christina, and I'm going to be doing your read for the upcoming month of January 2021. Hey, y'all. How you doing? Okay, let's go ahead and get started. See what we have going on. The thread popped out immediately. The maiden. Okay. Look out, Leo. I mean, the thread is just a card of connection, you know? The temple. Bam. The vessel. The seed. The bridge and the box and the warrior. Okay. I mean... The bridge is usually a warning card, you know, like if you build the bridge on a faulty foundation, it is inevitably going to crumble beneath you. And so the warning here is to build your bridge on a solid foundation, lest you find yourself swept away in the waters of the river. And then we have the box, the seed, the vessel, the warrior, temple, the maiden, the thread. And Leos, I feel like y'all are coming out of a place where you've been feeling kind of just confined. I mean, you know, with all of the growth and development, there's still been a lot of just this general feeling of this is not right. This is still not quite right. I feel trapped. You know, my Leos, we are, I think every Leo that I've ever known has always been claustrophobic, but I think it's just that whole, you know, we like our freedom to, roam, and when we feel confined, we're like, get me out. But I feel like you're kind of coming out of this place of feeling confined, and then I want to go to the seed. And this is just kind of the idea of I mean, the story behind the seed is the idea that it's not always a pretty process. Yeah, your seed isn't always naturally planted in a garden where somebody is there to tend to it. Sometimes it goes through a process. It's a little bit of a literal shit show, and yet, you know, it gets planted and you know, something grows from it. There's a card in one of the decks. It's just kind of the idea of with the oak trees within the seed. And so it seems as though there's a seed that's been planted within you, Leo. And that takes us to I want to say the thread. This idea that there's just something that we are connected to. You know, whether that's, I mean, given the maiden and the temple, I want to say that it's romantic, but honestly, Leo, I feel like there's just kind of this idea of things that you are coming into, that it's that you feel okay, this feels right. You know, whether that's work or you know, an artistic project that you're working on, you know, or a relationship that you're coming into, whatever it is, it feels like it's something that you're connected to, it's something that you're supposed to be doing. And then you have the maiden and the temple, and I mean, you know, these are both, I mean, the maiden is a very central card, and it's of curiosity and just kind of this newness, and I feel like, Leo, y'all are coming into that place where possibly coming into a lot of new things in life, you know, new employment, new love, new all of the things, you know, and you're just kind of curious. You just want to feel it out and see what comes from it. And the temple is the idea of worship. And oftentimes it asks us to recognize what is it that we've been worshiping, and how is it that it has prevented us from, you know, really paying attention to and honoring what it is that speaks to us. Rather than, you know, what it is that we're just kind of demanded to worship. So it seems like in January, you guys are coming into just a place of connection with things that you're passionate about and curious about and excited to explore. No longer feeling confined and feeling like the seeds that you've planted in life are actually coming into fruition. Because I feel like for Leos, we've been doing a lot of just, I want to say like the grunt work of manifestation, kind of like, okay, I need to deal with whatever issues have come my way. 2020 has been a hell of a fucking year, like, and just kind of looking at our lives and saying, okay, now I need to take another step. What direction do I want to take that step in? What is it that I've been worshiping that I need to like realign my attention to? I need to, focus on what it is that I'm connected to, because that's the seed that's been planted. Okay. 8 of Pentacles. 9 of Cups. Queen of Pentacles. And Temperance. So I feel like the 8 of Pentacles goes really well with the box. Leos, we have all been having our struggles, whether it's health issues, whether it's financial issues, family issues, like a combination of all of them, whatever it's been there and it's been real. And I feel like finance has been a really big issue for a lot of my Leos. And the idea of just kind of manipulation. And honestly, I feel like it's just this idea that you're breaking out of the box of feeling controlled by anyone outside of yourself. Like you are in charge of how you approach romance, how you approach friendship, how you approach community, how you approach finances. Like you're coming into a place where you're no longer feeling confined by all of those things. And instead you're finding balance because you're doing what you need to do to move forward and to be okay of your own accord, like no more barely struggling to keep my head above water, like coming into a place where it's like, okay, like I am finally starting to move forward and find my balance and be okay, which is fucking fantastic, yo. Fucking fantastic. Mad love to my Leos. Ooh. The 8 of Swords, this is kind of like charging into battle. And you do have the Warrior card here with the Vessel card. I guess I kind of like sidetracked those. But I feel like the idea here is kind of like, the Vessel card is build it or break it. Everything comes with it, like with a vessel. We walk the earth because gravity holds us down. We drink water out of cups, it's just that idea that everything has something that carries it. And it's kind of that idea of being carried toward like where you're going in life. And then you have the Warrior with the 8 of Swords. And I really like, in this instance, I get the idea, Leo, that you guys are just, it's almost that idea of like come at me, like there's nothing I can't do at this point. Like try me, I dare you, the Warrior card is also a card of warning, like pick your battles and fight where is necessary and find pleasure where, like outside of your battles, but like also just kind of this idea, Leo, that coming out of the year of 2020, you're going into 2021 with this mentality of like, I've got this and I'm not struggling anymore. In fact, I'm ready to, take on come what may. And that's the energy. I don't feel like you're under attack necessarily. I feel like it's just kind of that idea of like, okay, life, show me what you got. I'm ready, See what else we can get here from my Leos. Actually, I think I'm going to I haven't used this deck in a hot minute, but I feel like I want to. see if we get anything. Ace of Cups. The Nine of Cups. Okay, so the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Cups. The Ace of Cups is a new relationship. I love the imagery with the excerpt in the card. It's kind of the idea of, like an otter. They playfully go through the river, and they hold hands when they're sleeping so they don't lose each other. It's just adorable. And it's just this idea of a new intimacy. And then you have the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is a card that just kind of speaks to the idea of, like, when things are good, they're good, and when they're bad, they're bad. But nothing is ever always one thing or another. Life is a process, and we move through it. And so I kind of feel like for some of my Leos, you guys could be starting into a new relationship, and the Nine of Cups is just kind of indicative of the idea that you when you're single, you're single. When you're not, you're not. Just kind of like this mentality or this approach toward relationship that feels very like non-definitive. Not that it's not a defined relationship so much as that it's something that, Leo, you approach as an idea of like this movement in life. Life is always in motion. Energy is always in motion. And if we are energy, then we're always in motion and we're constantly moving. And so the idea is just that, here you are, and I think you're kind of coming into this new relationship with someone who you feel very connected to. And then we had the Santa Muerta card pop out. For Leos, it may be that there's this past relationship that is coming back to you, where you are experiencing this rebirth. Santa Muerta is death and rebirth. So, especially since you have the seed here, it could be that it's somebody from your past who, you possibly dated for a little bit, or maybe you just had an interaction with them, or some kind of connection with this person, but that it seemed to have passed and is coming back to life here in the month of January, because the idea behind this read is that whatever it is that's planted is what it is that you're connected to. So yeah, let's see what else we can get for my Leos for the month of January. The prayer and Kairos. The prayer card is, my manifestation card. It's the idea that, you co-create with the universe. You are expressing what it is that you want. In Leos, I think that over the past year, we definitely have been spending a lot of time sorting through what we do want, what we don't want, why we want it, why we don't want it, what we're willing to accept, what we're not willing to accept, and we're sitting back and kind of patiently waiting for what it is that, we know that we deserve. Let's see what else we can get from the Leos. I want to say, Leo, that, the bridge, there's almost this idea of like the bridge is crumbled. Especially with the Santa Muerta and Kairos. It's kind of that idea that possibly the bridge is already crumbled, and that, you've just kind of been sitting back patiently, doing your thing. And this is almost like the rebirth of an idea that you'd been sitting with on what it is that you wanted. In life in general, honestly. But let's see what else we can get here for my Leos. Ace of Swords, the King of Wands, and the Page of Swords. I mean, Leo, it seems like, I mean, the message here is just that, you've been focused. You've been kind of like keeping to your grind, keeping to yourself, focusing on what it is that you want to create, in your life, in whatever manner that plays out, whether that's through work or art or friends or family or, love. I mean, all of the things, but whatever it is, it seems that you've come into this new truth. The Ace of Swords and the King of Wands, and really the idea here is that you've decided on your new truth. You've decided on your new direction. You've decided on what it is that you want and why you want it and how it is that you're going to create that. So I mean, really and truly, the energy of this entire read is just kind of this idea of all of the things that you've been working toward with the Judgment card that popped out here. And I want to say, Leo, that you guys are really coming in just kind of like as the judge of your life and your circumstances. We have the Two of Cups, or I'm sorry, the Three of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. So, and it could be that, the person that you're dealing with is somebody who you have, experienced a falling out with, that it's kind of like coming into judgment and I want to say you're finding them guilty, like hence the death and rebirth, just not really meeting you where you wanted them to be, if they actually wanted to, engage with you in a relationship, or even with your job, like feeling like, okay, I started here, but like I want to move further and this isn't where I want to be. I feel like there's just this energy, Leo, for you all in the month of January of really just kind of like putting yourself where you want to be, of saying, okay, I started here, but this is where I started. This is not where I end. And I'm going to move my way up to here. And just kind of like holding everything and everyone accountable, while also, just demonstrating your ability and your skill. I mean, Leo, you're a fucking boss. And, you've been a boss for a hot minute. It's just that for my Leos, we stepped back for a couple of years, I want to say. I mean, I feel like for the Leos that I know, and for myself even, it's been a hot minute. And now it just kind of seems like we're stepping back into ourselves and back into what it is that we envision for our lives, and why it is that we envision that, so that we can really like hold ourselves accountable as well as holding those around us accountable, to make sure that we are where it is that we want to be, which is fantastic and amazing. Okay, so let's see what else we can get for my Leos for the month of January. The Mystic. I want to say, Leo, this is just kind of the idea of knowing which direction you want to go, knowing which moves feel right and which ones feel wrong. I mean, the Mystic comes with a knowing, and I feel like this is just kind of like heavy on the intuition. We can feel out what feels right and what feels wrong, and what direction we need to walk in, and it's almost that idea of like, when you step on, I see mud for some reason, but it's just kind of that idea of like you step in like if you're walking across a field and it just rained, and you're trying to find the spots that aren't as like soggy so your foot doesn't sink into the mud. It's almost like this idea of knowing where to step so that your foot doesn't sink. And that's what I want to say, like in terms of your intuition. You're just following your intuition, and you're recognizing that, like not everyone has your best interest at heart, and not everyone is out to get you. And so you need to just be able to understand and decipher which way to go and which way to step, and how light to step at any given point in time. And I feel like that's kind of where you're at, Leo. You're just moving through intuition. You're trying to find that solid foundation to cross into, a place of life that, will carry you into, I want to say like a holy curiosity. That place that's designated for you to really just let loose and explore. and really start to enjoy everything that comes your way, which is a fantastic read, and I hope that it resonates for y'all. And thank you so much for spending some time with me. Happy New Year, and I can't wait to see y'all again soon. Bye.